What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is a personal breakdown that hopefully, not a breakdown, an emotional breakdown. No, this is a personal look into the current history of Raw popcorn Prizewall and what I'm thinking about getting, which may also help you think about what you want to get. So you can see we're on my personal account right here, and I have got 44,000 popcorn, which is actually surprising. I didn't think I would get that much. And we've still got a couple days of the contest to go. So as Rusty and I talked about on this week's podcast, I'm holding out, right? I'm not going to go ahead and spend this until I know I've got 3 days, right? So this is kind of 3 days worth of decisions. And if this drops, where you've still got a day or two to think about this, use this video as a way to kind of process what's best for your roster. Wait. Have patience. See how many popcorn you end up with by the end of it, and I think you'll be happier with the end results. So there's a number of things on here. This Stone Cold gives a beer bath to the corporation moment is a universal moment, meaning it works in all modes. It does hit a few characters that are pretty important, like, for example, Powerhouse Bionic Redneck Steve Austin, who is, still top tier, but he hasn't already aged as well as, say, New Gen Showboat Vader, Master, the Vader time one that came out around the same time, and Vader has gotten better and better and better, whereas Stone Cold has kind of not done so much, right? But this gives him a lot more red gem damage. It does, just a number of things that are super important. It hits Ministry of Darkness Taker, which I'll talk about in a moment, and the Acolytes, among some others, like that new Steve Austin that just got buffed up. It does some things for him there as well. So actually, you know what? I'm talking about it. Let's just go take a look at the moment itself. We are on my personal game here. It's down here. All right. So it gives multiplied gems generated by 3 in all modes, which is going to help. Let's see what the Memrock. Who else? I don't know on here who does. I don't have Ministry of Darkness Taker, so I'm assuming he might benefit from that. But either way, anytime there's multiplied gems that go up, that's a big deal. Red gems do 150% more damage. That's big on really both of the Acolytes. That's big on Steve Austin, the Bionic Redneck. And maybe Undertaker. Again, I don't have him. Yellow gems do 200% more damage. That's really going to be big on a couple of these guys in here. And as Rusty pointed out, red gems get boosted and yellow gems get boosted, which means Bionic Redneck with the Sheriff's Badge. Hello? That's a big boost for him. All color submissions do 200% more. This Steve Austin that they just revamped, the Striker Austin 316, is already now, surprisingly, the king of subs for the current meta. What? For that old of a character to be the new king of subs this far into 6-star gold is crazy. And you just add 200% more to it right there. That's another big deal. Also going to be big on that Shamrock right there. Possibly Undertaker. Moves that cause bleed. That's really Mankind, I think, out of all of these. Let's see. All color moves that deal damage will do 100% more damage. So Undertaker, I know, has a move damage build. Farouk has a move damage build. So it really kind of helps out all of these guys. Is it going to move the needle on my roster personally? Well, I would love to see Bionic Redneck come back a little bit, and this will help him a lot. Although I need another Sheriff's Badge. That's the moral of the story here. Shamrock is fun to play with, and his double sub build can already take down anybody. It's just a little slow, so that's going to speed that up a little bit. Bradshaw, at the start of the 6-star gold meta, was arguably the best striker in the game, and he's slipped not because he's gotten worse, but because so many better strikers have come out in the last few months. But that's going to put him back into the conversation for some things. And Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness, if you have all of his moments, which there are a lot of them, then he really can start to do some things. So this moment helps a lot of people. The other thing about moments versus plates, for example, is that you never know when a moment is going to be offered again. It's just not that common for some moments to show back up. Some of them, they show up immediately. Like this might be on the midweek, month-long prize wall next month. And then if I choose it over a yeet plate, I'll be kicking myself, right? But it is universal. So that puts a high price tag for me on that. That's a good one. However, I did just mention something else, the yeet plate. On my personal roster, this is the real dilemma I'm having, is do I take the moment or do I take the yeet? I have one yeet plate, but the yeet plate is the modern era drip plate. It is way more powerful than the drip currently, but they're equal to each other if you look at when the drip originally came out, when the yeet has come out. While the drip was more universal because it's just everyone with black moves, whereas the yeet is specific to a column break damage, it boosts you by 500%, which is insane on all of the reworks they just did. So, for example, Trickster Macho Man goes from never going to use him again to, oh my gosh, he might be one of the better tricksters in the game. Scott Hall gets some life back. Both Kevin Nash's get some real life back. And X-Pac goes back to being like, wait, you're using X-Pac in 2025? Like Acro X-Pac? Are you serious? Yeah. So to me, one or the other of these are the best thing you could possibly get from the prize wall. I'm not sure which one is really better for your roster. I think for mine, getting another yeet plate is going to be more impactful than getting the moment, just because I don't have Undertaker, although I'll talk about him in a second. And Austin is, I haven't used him a ton since then, but I don't know. The yeet plate's been offered on a couple of things, but it's been really, really hard to get. So does that mean this moment is going to be super hard to get? I don't know. Well, let's talk about the rest of the prize wall. That's my number one for my roster, probably for your roster. If you can get a yeet plate, it's game changing. If you get that moment, it might be game changing for your roster. The Valkyrie's Crest is fine. I don't have it, but we did some videos testing it out. It's good. Every time you trigger a color, it gives you a color, blah, blah, blah. It's the red one. So that is nice for a few people. Man, I don't know why this has been doing this to me all day. And then you've got the Devil's Drip, which is kind of a lesser version of the drip plate. That plus the yeet does some amazing things, so I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're going to go with the yeet and have enough to somehow get the drip. Go for it. Shades of Rains, I still don't have, and I don't feel like I've been missing it. The Gunther shards are pretty overpriced, but if that recruits him for you, whole tour. Then you've got a bunch of characters that give you 500 shards. 500 shards is a very good amount and very likely means you might recruit somebody with this. So I would say there's a good chance that if you were to pick one of these, you could get somebody. So if you could recruit OTC Roman, I would say, I don't know if I would take that over the yeet, but it might be the best call for your roster. He is flipping insane. 1A, 1B of him and a couple other strikers, like him, Jey Uso plus Gear plus Yeet, or Ozzy Bark at the Moon. Those three strikers are like the best there is. Casey Jones as well, but nobody can get him, and he was super rare. So, if you have those three, like, my goodness. But if you don't have any of those guys, OTC is the best there is. NOD Rock is good. In fact, he's very good. He just takes a little while to win, but he can hit 90 million turn 3, just not turn 1. Seth freaking Rollins is losing his shine the further we go into the meta. Not having multiply gems, Vader is very much better. Solo's not great. Bionic Redneck, as I've talked about above, is great, but I would take the moment over the recruit on him because you're more likely to be able to get him later than you are the moment, theoretically. Dexter's good, and his shard cost is pretty nice, low. Then you've got 300 shards of CM Punk and Bronson Reed. Both of those guys are going to be required a lot, although Bronson being out of action right now means he might not be as much. I would not take a recruit on either of these over anything that is above them. Then you've got some ultimate straps. That's just dependent on your roster, what you need. But the more 150, 100% gem damage straps you can get, the better. So wherever you can get them, take them. Then you've got the Bubba's Specs and the Acolyte Seal. Bubba's Specs is good. It's every time you activate a purple move, your purple gem damage goes up. There's a few people that's going to get a 150% boost on, which may be better than a Pyro Plate for that person, or something along those lines. So definitely good. Seal of the Acolyte's definitely good. Both of those are pretty rare. I would not put, if you had the opportunity, in a perfect world, you had the opportunity between the Yeet Plate and one of these, there's not even a question. It's the Yeet Plate, right? But if you get 12K and that's all you've got, you're kind of between a strap and one of the plates. I would probably say the plate, although again, it really depends on your roster, and that's always it depends. That's always the answer. Okay, going down into some of this lesser stuff here. For me, this is a big one. Undertaker Ministry of Darkness. I can recruit him with this popcorn bucket, or by using these popcorn buckets and get those 300 shards. Now, if I take the Yeet, I may get to where I can do the Yeet plus Recruit Taker, and that is a big deal for me. That's going to add to the overall case as to why I would take the Yeet over the Moment, because I could do the Yeet plus the Undertaker. But what if I get to where I could do the Moment plus the Undertaker? That Moment makes this Undertaker much, much better, which means I really have to weigh out, do I want to use this Undertaker? Am I going to actually use MOD Taker for anything, or is it just nice, shiny Pokemon collection for my roster? If you don't have Julius, you need the Tama Plate, but if you've got Julius plus the Tama Plate, it's insane. He's one of the best characters in the game, so maybe that's worth it to you. I would not chase Gunther, but his shards are super cheap. I would not chase Razar, but his shards are super cheap. Memrock is a great coach, especially if you don't have Seth and Ardo. That's a vital coach. Hogan is a vital, vital coach, so if you don't have him for his coaching ability alone, it would be worth it. Then you've got the really gambly strap. Ultimate Random Gem Damage Strap, 40 to 150 percentage. You could luck out, spend very little relatively to this event on your popcorn, and get 150% strap for your favorite character in the game. It could happen. However, you should expect that you're either going to get a 40% gem damage strap and go, okay, well, that's fine. I've got a bunch of those. Cool. Sweet. I've got another. Or you're going to get the ultimate whammy card. And it's happened to me multiple times since I've gambled on these 150% straps, where you do get a 150% strap and you're like, the heavens have opened and blessed me. And it's Acrobat PG era. I don't know why, but Acrobat New Gen and Acrobat PG era drop far more, for me at least, let me know what happens with you in the comments section, than anything else in the game. And I'll tell you, there's not a good Acrobat PG era that you want to put even 150% strap on that would help them at all. And while there are a couple, two very specifically, Acrobat New Gen eras that are accessible, that being Tatanka is the most accessible. And then Seth and Ardo, the other one is Acro Snoop. And while I would love to have Acro Snoop, and I would even more love to have 150% gem damage strap on him, it just feels like a wah-wah. When you spend on the gamble, you feel like you win on the gamble, and then it turns out to be something that you're like, well, I hope they introduce an Acrobat PG era character that's good. So just know that's a gamble. That's the gamble of gambles on there. Then you've got some econ. So a million metal bits is actually a really good value right now. Strap parts are always good. The star fragment cases tick me off because it's literally, you could get 20 of them and that's just nothing. So they're great if you hit the big number, but you usually don't. And then showboat bundles, like, that is nice if you're trying to upgrade somebody, but it's specifically showboat. And then your 99 popcorn for 10 million coins. That's the one that you hit when you've got everything else you want, and then you just spam this one until you run out of currency and you're good. So that's this prize wall. What am I going to do? Well, first of all, my recommendation to you that I'm also going to follow is I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until that Sunday night event is as done as it can be done. And then I'm going to take a look and say, okay, well, what do I actually want from this? In fact, there's 3 days beyond that. So I could wait until Monday night even, maybe Tuesday morning. Although don't wait too long. You don't want to accidentally miss the prize wall and then kick yourself. But for me, oh my gosh, I am... like, if I can get Undertaker and the Stone Cold gives a beer bath moment... I'm tempted, but the Yeet plate. The Yeet plate is the drip plate of our era, and I just feel like the more of these I have, like I've got one on Lyra Valkyria, and case in point, Lyra went from being like okay, but I've got a lot better acro females. Like that is the most loaded class in the game to put a Yeet plate on her, and she is my favorite female in the game now. Like no question. She hits 170 million. She'll hit 150 million post 99 MP with 3 clicks, never touches the board. Fastest person on my roster by far that does the most amount of damage. And it's all thanks to the Yeet. Without the Yeet, she's still okay. But again, then it's more, yeah, but Zombie Bailey's better. I know that's not acro female. Acro Rhea's better. Acro Indy's better. I prefer Zombie Becky to her. With the Yeet plate, her stock rises astronomically. So if I were sitting in your shoes, if I could get the Yeet, and especially if I could get the Yeet and have a Devil's Drip already, or could get a Devil's Drip somehow, that combination right there is just insane. I literally wish I had a Rainmaker strap that's an ultimate Rainmaker strap just so I could put a Yeet and Devil's Trip on it, and I would throw it on 7 different characters today, and people would be like, why in the world does he have Acro X-Pac, Lyra, Macho Man, Kevin Nash as his feud lineup in 2025? And I would just say, Yeet! But we literally don't know if this moment will ever come back or if it's going to be like easily accessible on next month's midweek, month-long prize wall. So that's the gamble. I hope this helps you out. I hope this helps you process what you're going to do, because this has been a pretty fun event, and I feel like the popcorn has flown a little bit more than I thought it would. So maybe you have a hard decision ahead of you like I have a hard decision ahead of me. First world problems, great problems to have, all those things. But let me know what you're going to do in the comment section. Like this video, subscribe to Champions Chat, and then send this to your friend or faction mate who's going, hey, what do I do with the popcorn prize wall? Here's what I say. Hope it helps. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.